largest and most ridiculous mega-project in history has just been announced by Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has proposed constructing two 500-meter-tall parallel skyscrapers across 170 kilometers of mountainous and desert landscape. Only 12 skyscrapers in the world have broken the 500-meter height barrier. Why then did Saudi Arabia make such a crazy announcement? Is it possible that they will succeed? Or are they just trying to get people's attention? There are few countries with a transformation plan as bold as Saudi Arabia's. The kingdom's Vision 2030 is an economic diversification plan that was unveiled in 2016 with the goal of decreasing the country's reliance on oil while simultaneously expanding the role of tourism, technology, and other industries. Since then, they've unveiled their overall strategy, dubbed NEOM, which translates to New Future. NEOM is envisioned as a futuristic smart city, and it currently comprises three enormous mega-projects. The Octagon, a floating 8-sided industrial complex, would be the first part of the development and would act as a port for shipping routes through the Red Sea. In addition, the city will be home to Trojena, a major outdoor skiing destination on the Arabian Peninsula where activities and events can be held all year round. More information about this project has recently come to light, and to say that it's insane would be an understatement. Across 100 kilometers, it will consist of two buildings, each 500 meters in height, with only 200 meters of separation between them. These mirrored parallel buildings will house a city of 9 million people. The linear city will stretch from the Red Sea's Gulf of Aqaba, inland, through the country's mountains and deserts. There will be walkways linking the two mirrored facades. Public parks, workplaces, and residential units will all be stacked one on top of the other inside. They intend to do this by vertically stacking the components of a typical city. They also want it to be completely eco-friendly and up-to-date technologically. Food for the inhabitants will come from vertical farms built into the 500-meter-high walls. In addition, there will be a 305-meter-tall sports stadium and a marina for yachts within the structure. It has been described as a revolution in civilization by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. To many onlookers, however, the mirror line appears to be a fantasy. Saudi Arabia plans to begin construction in the 2020s with the goal of having more than 1 million residents by 2030. Humanity has constructed enormous structures in harsh environments before, but the promises made by the mirror line seem out of reach in this timescale. The most up-to-date examples of Saudi Arabia's efforts to construct extraordinary skyscrapers aren't exactly encouraging either. Despite being planned to be the tallest building in the world, the Jeddah Tower has only risen to about a third of its intended height and is still on hold. Many spectators say that the mirror line will never exist outside of the marketing material, and the whole world is watching on. Approximately 50 million people have already watched the promotional video. Why then does Saudi Arabia propose something so outlandish if it is highly unlikely that it can be carried out? Since Mohammed bin Salman assumed power, Saudi Arabia has been actively working to rebrand its image. The international community will undoubtedly take notice of rebranding initiatives like this. The Saudi government wants to diversify the economy toward tourism by promoting the country as one with many more attractions than just oil. Although the mirror line has grabbed a lot of attention, the Saudi government is trying to change the country's image abroad. The Crown Prince places personal significance on the project. He says that this will be his version of the pyramids, and he's compared it to other massive construction endeavors in the Middle East. The announcement of the mirror line has brought Saudi Arabia widespread attention. However, feedback has been mostly negative. There are still a lot of unknowns. The goal is to construct a city where all modes of transportation are completely carbon neutral. However, the enormous environmental impact of such construction has not been addressed. It has been predicted that constructing the line would release close to 2 billion tons of CO2, which is equivalent to more than 4 years' worth of CO2 emissions in the United Kingdom. The promise of a carbon-neutral city doesn't seem very credible in light of these massive emissions from building it. Critics have also been quick to point out Saudi Arabia's poor human rights record and to estimate the human cost of the country's plans. There are many different indigenous groups in the area, many of which have had permanent settlements there for hundreds of years. About 20,000 people would need to be relocated to make way for this project. Ineffective labor reforms have contributed to widespread abuse of migrant workers in Saudi Arabia, And so far, authorities have provided no roadmap for addressing the problem. The country's questionable human rights record has emerged as a major issue, which will make it difficult to secure funding for the trillion-dollar mega project. Although the planners had hoped for Western investment and economic partnerships, the country is still largely boycotted. Some of the plans for Neom and the Mirror Line are just too complicated to be realized, even if they do get the funding. Most observers agree that the final product will look nothing like the one advertised today. What we have seen so far suggests that Saudi Arabia lacks the requisite knowledge to make good on many of its recent assertions. It will take more than a few decades, even with assistance from other countries, to finish the Mirror Line project. The question of whether or not people would want to live behind the Mirror Line is also crucial. In reality, there are many obstacles to overcome, including the aforementioned human rights abuses and the project's feasibility. So what do you think? Is this construction possible, or does it remain a science fiction pipe dream? Leave a comment with your thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.